based off of this house where people started losing their goddamn minds in it.
Right, so go watch the rest of that video. It's interesting. It is a horrifying story, and it's not based on any sort of haunting. The people who lived in that house, and she describes this whole thing in the video, they were losing their minds because basically there were leaves from the Datura Mattel plant falling into the bucket of rainwater that they were drinking out of. And now they don't call it the Datura Mattel plant, but she does say it is Datura, and Datura Mattel specifically is the one that has purple flowers. I'm going to show you that in a minute because I actually happen to grow it. Now, I grow 3 different species of Datura: Datura Mattel, Datura anoxia, my personal favorite, and Datura stramonium, known as Jimson weed. These plants are very poisonous. My character, Madame Datura, is named after the poisonous plant, Datura. Now, Datura is a genus of plants in the family Solanaceae. They are nightshades and includes 9 different species, and all species are poisonous. The plants are native to the southwest of the United States, although commonly incorrectly cited as being native to India because, interestingly enough, Datura is the sacred flower of Lord Shiva, the supreme Hindu deity. Now, I'm not going to go into that legend. I have gone into it in other videos. Just know that Datura is one of my favorite flowers, one of my favorite plants. It is medicinal and it is an amazing plant in the medical field. And we will talk a little bit about what it's being studied for in a few moments. Just know that it is poisonous, and if you fuck around, you will find out. So basically the people in that video were microdosing on Datura daily. On the daily, you know, as one does. Not. And they just thought that they were just leaves, because the plant was, like, I guess, kind of hanging over the bucket of rainwater, and they were just casually drinking out of it, having a sip. So this is why we talk about things here on the Druid's Deadly Darlings, because that shit's important, and why knowing the common names of stuff, which are, a lot of plants are called the same thing and they're not, why that's important, and also why knowing the Latin names is also just as important. So this right here is one of my deadly darlings. This is Datura Mattel. You can smell it and it won't hurt you. It's not its cousin Brugmansia. The pollen from that will fuck you up, but it's perfectly fine to smell and to touch. It smells divine. These kind of have a grapey scent. It's kind of fun because they're purple. There she is. Oh, I love her so much. And these form like a double flower. You can see the second flower in there, and all Datura flowers. They're called trumpet flower, angel's trumpet, or devil's trumpet, because they have that trumpet-like shape. That is a common characteristic of all nightshade plants, is the flower shape. And also, this is called Datura Kala in Hindi. Kala means black. Kali means black. That's just the feminine form of the word Kala. I like to call it Datura Kali because it fucks shit up, just like Goddess Kali. Here's its close cousin, Brugmansia. It's currently not blooming. It just went through a bloom cycle, and their blooms hang down like bells. They look like bells. Whereas these kind of stick out, but in other species they point straight up. There. See, you can see the double bloom there. So these flowers, like I said, are very, very poisonous, and every part of the plant is toxic. And what was happening was the leaves were falling off from one of these plants and into the bucket of rainwater. And the reason why that happened is because Datura has a powerful effect on the brain. That's why people like to say, oh, we're gonna go get high on Datura. Don't do that. I heard a story from a guy who knew a couple of guys who survived, but they each ingested one seed, and they drove themselves to the ER, and one guy is permanently fucked up for the rest of his life. So the way in which Datura works is it shuts down 5 or 6 different parts of your body. It will unalive you 5 or 6 different ways before you were officially taken off the census. And because of Datura's powerful effect on the body, it is being studied medicinally, particularly Datura Mattel, the purple ones here, which also come in yellow, by the way. It's fun. They are being studied for bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, and how Datura might be used to help cure and treat mental illnesses, because it rewires your brain so well. And so applied in a medical sense, in extremely small doses, it could be incredibly beneficial. However, it only takes a teeny tiny fraction of a leaf or one little itty bitty seed to do you in. Other species of Datura are being studied, such as Datura inoxia, my personal favorite, and Datura stramonium are being studied for their usage in treating skin ailments like eczema, rashes, bruises, burns, even bone rebuilding, I believe, just like with comfrey root, and other things of that sort. I also heard that they're looking into cancer research. So clearly this is a miracle plant. It is a beautiful plant, and I adore it. But don't put it in your mouth, ever. Now, I happen to make a salve out of the Datura seeds. I use it topically. I use it for my own eczema and for treating my sore muscles. It is excellent as a muscle relaxant. But be careful. Don't use too much. A little bit does go a long way. I am personally a little afraid of microdosing on Datura, but used topically, I've used it for quite a while, and I am actually perfectly fine. I've never had an issue, but I've also never ingested it in any way, shape, or form. So because these people were essentially microdosing on this plant, it was driving them crazy. It was, I'm sure, causing hallucinations. It was making their vision blurred. Their speech was probably slurred. They may have even been having trouble breathing, and it was causing them to absolutely lose their goddamn minds, which they were probably attributing to hauntings, or at least some versions of that urban legend say that the house was really haunted and everybody inside lost their minds and died or something. The truth was they were inadvertently microdosing on Datura Mattel. This beauty opened up last night. They do bloom at night. Another fun fact about the Datura plants. And I've got a big ass Datura inoxia that's going to open up tonight. That one bloomed a couple nights ago there. See, different species, different looking leaves, different looking stems. These stems, again, are black, Datura cala. And this one here, albeit chewed up by bugs, is Datura stramonium. Look at its little thorny seed pods that it makes. Also, it's called thorn apple. So always be aware of what's in your own backyard. That's why I give these talks on called the Druid's Deadly Darlings, this whole series of talks, because people do need to be aware of what's growing around them, and don't drink water with leaves in it. Be very sure that you know what those leaves are. It's why knowing your shit when you're foraging is also important, whether that be for plants or mushrooms. Oh, look at my little baby Inoxia friend coming up over here. She's so cute. Oh, and in case you were wondering what color other normal Datura flowers are, they're white. That is why it is often said that Lord Shiva prefers white flowers as his offerings. So, that's it. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Druid's Deadly Darlings. I am your host, Madame Datura, and as always, stay safe. Don't ingest any sort of Datura at all. Don't die. But a little sniff once in a while, as always advised. It's delightful.